What up everybody, welcome back, Kanan here, and welcome to my top 10 highest rated MetaQuest games. And this is taken from their own star rating, so I'll be doing games that are between 4.8 and 5 stars. And the results actually surprised myself. And at some point during this video, I'll be giving a free key out for By Grit Alone. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. And that's gotta be worth a sub, surely. And in no particular order, I'm starting with I Am Cat at a 4.9 out of 5, and a relatively newcomer to the store. I Am Cat is a sandbox adventure where you play a cat. And within the game you'll be tasked with different quests, the ability to terrorise Granny, and a few mini games just to keep you interested. Of course you'll be able to knock loads of different things over, but interestingly enough you can also cook. Very interesting. I've heard a lot of good things about this game, and it comes highly recommended, of course. And from bright and cheery, we go into Five Nights at Freddy's with a 4.8 rating, and of course the second one, I believe it's 4.8 as well. And as you expect, Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted is a VR version of the original. I did actually get to play the first one myself, and I will admit it is scary as heck. The whole game is pretty dark, and really surprisingly enough it does grip you with quite a bit of tension as you play on. It surprised the heck out of me, and my daughter, who actually likes Five Nights at Freddy, wouldn't even play it after seeing me play it. I can easily see why this has got a 4.8 out of 5 rating, but if you're scared easily, this may not be for you. Or it may be actually. Just like if this video is for you, then subscribe! Which brings us nicely to Trackcraft with a 4.8 rating. This game is basically Scalextrics in VR and MR, and trust me, the MR is really good in this game. I did review this one, I'll link it somewhere in this video, probably at the top of the screen now. If, like me, way back when you were a young whippersnapper, you used to play those Scalextrics, build them all up and make great shapes and then just race them, well, this is kind of like that, but in MR and VR, as I said. And there are a lot of pre-made tracks here in different areas if you're in VR, and also the ability to use your furniture and stuff in MR to create tracks and different experiences. And with the ability that you can make your own tracks thrown in, and a whole load of different ramps, teleporters, and all sorts of different tracks. For me, this was definitely worth that 4.8 rating. Next up we have Maestro, and there is a demo of this one if you wish to try it out. Maestro is the first of 2 rhythm-based games I have for this list, and with Maestro you take up your baton, and conduct your orchestra in a apparently authentic way. I like the fact that you can unlock different costumes, batons, let's not go there again, and also the audience, depending on whether you've done well or badly, can throw either tomatoes or roses at you. One might say, if you're a fan of the classic arts, then this may be right up your alley. And from a calm and relaxed atmosphere, we enter Underdogs with a 4.9 rating. And I can say, as I reviewed it, and I'll try and leave the link somewhere around here again, probably up in one of those corners. But if you're a fan of mechs and high destruction, this game is definitely for you. As Underdogs mixes up time management, upgrades, and brutal battling with a pretty decent combat system that really does make you feel badass. And so far, as I can see, they have been updating it since its launch. I do highly recommend this game, as did a lot of other people by the looks of it. And talking about highly recommended, I recommend subscribing. Oh! And Trombone Champs Unflattened, which is my second rhythm-based game. Remember I mentioned it earlier, but in Trombone Champ, you are the trombone expert. cough cough, depending on how good you are. And again, I reviewed this one, link somewhere around as well, and I can see why it got a 4.9 out of 5. And it has varying difficulties and even the ability to use one or both sides of the screen to toot your horn. And also with the ability to unlock different trombones, some quite comical, and you do get the option to kind of customize them and decorate them a little. It does have a mixed reality mode, but I thought this was a little bit naff, so I didn't play much of that. Underworld Overseer. Yes, I did review this. Yes, I'll link it up there somewhere. Another 4.9 out of 5 stars. And this one is one of those dungeon building, keep the heroes out type game. Loads of different options, loads of different upgrades, loads of different rooms. This game feels so familiar, but oh so cool to play in VR. Underworld Overseer didn't just look and sound great, it also played phenomenally. Spatial Ops, I'll leave the link, don't worry. Spatial Ops is a kind of really cool twist on games like Time Crisis. Essentially, you're stood in one place, but having to move around different areas via different portals. These portals open up and different enemies start shooting at you. And I honestly thought it was a really cool use of mixed reality. Spatial Ops mixes up the genre and definitely has a lot to offer. Different weapons, different environments, and the portals and enemies can come from any direction. Almost literally left, right, back, forward and up. You better believe you need to keep your wits about you. And it's even got a awesome mixed reality multiplayer mode, which unfortunately I only got to kind of dabble within. You can see why it's got a 4.8, and again, it does come highly recommended. Into the Radius, a 4.8 out of 5, and yeah, I got to play this, didn't do a review, I kind of like dabbled within it. To be honest with you, to start off with this game, I wasn't quite sure what the heck was going on, and it did take me a little while to get into. Basically, it's kind of like a open world survival horror game, whereas you have to fight different enemies and avoid different anomalies in order to find your way to the Radius Center and your way out. This game is one of those ones that get better the further in you go, rather than just at the beginning. So it is kind of like a bit of a slow boiler to start off with. But don't you be a slow boiler, hit that subscribe button, especially if you're enjoying this video. Vendetta Forever. This one's a bit of a weird one, but it does actually look really good, and with a 4.9 rating, I'm guessing it is. Set within different cinematic genres, this action game looks very stylish and has a pretty cool mechanic. Within Vendetta Forever, you have to shoot and defend yourself from waves of different enemies. Movement is done by grabbing downed enemies' weapons and pulling yourself towards them, making every kill and every move strategic. It's really not difficult to see why this has a 4.9 score, and it's one that somehow passed me by, but hopefully I'll be rectifying this very soon. And as I mentioned before, I was quite surprised by this list, as I thought your likes of like your Batmans and all would be on this list, but no, they're 4.7s and below. But I will say there were plenty more 4.8 and aboves, and I may do another video. Leave a comment down below if you've got any suggestions, or indeed you want me to make another video of it. And as for that By Grit Alone key, well, you can get it by going to my Discord, link is down below, and saying happy holidays one and all, and it would be lovely to get a By Grit Alone key. Thanks for joining me, subscribe, see ya!